Participants Alex argues for raising minimum wages. Ben argues against or urges strong caution off limits. Alex, let's start with the outcome that matters most for low-wage workers: take-home pay. Across dozens of policy changes, we repeatedly see pay rise at the bottom with little or no net job loss on average. When you compare neighbouring counties that share local economies, jobs don't vanish. Employment tends to bunch at the new wage floor, and workers earn more. Ben, and let's start with margins that are easy to miss. Employment isn't just a level, it's hours, new openings, and the speed of hiring. Studies that track those margins find slower job growth after hikes. You can keep the same headcount, but trim hours, delay openings, or automate faster. The level can look fine while opportunities quietly shrink. Alex, true, margins matter. But the best quasi-experiments that stack many hikes over decades still show small employment responses. If the average effect is near zero while pay rises materially, that's a net improvement for people who've seen wage stagnation for years. And there are distributional wins. Some research on historical coverage expansions shows racial earnings gaps narrowing without evident job losses. Ben, averages hide vulnerability. Teenagers, very low-skill workers, and small businesses in thin-margin sectors may bear the brunt even if statewide averages look fine. City-specific hikes that jump quickly can reduce hours or headcount for exactly those groups you want to help. We should not dismiss those heterogeneities. Alex, then design for them. Phase-ins, modest annual steps, and predictable schedules let firms adjust through turnover, not layoffs. Pair increases with small business supports, tax credits, compliance help, and with demand-side policies that boost sales. Also, modern evidence suggests costs are often shared through small price increases and reduced excess profits, not just job cuts. Ben, price pass-through isn't free. It lands on consumers, including low-income households. And profitability matters for investment. Squeeze margins too hard, and you get fewer new locations, slower diffusion of small firms, and less experimentation. The longer run effects can be missed by short evaluation windows. Alex, that's exactly why many studies look over long panels and still don't see large disemployment. Meanwhile, the benefits, lower turnover, better productivity from reduced financial stress, and a clearer wage ladder, show up in the data and in firm case studies. A slightly higher wage floor can professionalize low-wage sectors. Ben, or it can accelerate substitution. Self-checkout, table QR codes, automated prep, these trends intensify as the price of low-skilled labor rises. If the policy is too aggressive relative to local productivity, you trade entry-level jobs for kiosks. That might be efficient on paper, but tough for people trying to get a foothold. Alex, again, pacing is the lever. No one is saying triple the wage overnight. A glide path that tracks inflation and productivity lets technology adoption proceed without a shock, while ensuring workers share in gains. If a business model only works because wages are kept exceptionally low, maybe it's not socially efficient. Ben, that line sounds good but ignores regional realities. A uniform high floor can be appropriate in dense, high-wage metros and inappropriate in small towns with very different price levels. If you insist on higher floors, consider regional indexing or earned income supports that travel better across geographies. Alex, regional indexing is fine, but relying on tax-financed wage supplements alone socializes labor costs onto taxpayers while firms free ride. A balanced mix, reasonable wage floors plus targeted credits, splits responsibility between buyers and taxpayers rather than putting it all on the public. Ben, let's talk evidence nuance. The studies finding minimal job loss often average across many modest hikes. The ones showing harm often focus on big jumps in short windows or on the most exposed groups. That suggests a key design principle. How much and how fast matter enormously. Policymakers shouldn't quote average elasticities to justify very large, rapid hikes. Alex, agreed. Dose and timing matter. My argument is that within the historical range used in most US jurisdictions, the evidence shows wage gains with small employment responses. For larger targets, use multi-year phase-ins and automatic stabilizers, pausing increases during deep recessions to avoid hitting fragile labour markets. Ben, even with phase-ins, teens and the least experienced can be squeezed out. Entry ramps matter for long-run earnings. We should pair any hike with apprenticeships, training subsidies, and hiring credits for youth, so the first rung doesn't disappear. Alex, yes, minimum wages should be part of a suite. Career ladders, sectoral training, enforcement against wage theft, and predictable scheduling. Those complements raise productivity and reduce the risk that the floor becomes a ceiling. Ben, enforcement cuts both ways. If you raise the floor but compliance is weak, compliant firms are undercut by non-compliant ones, losing share and shedding jobs. Enforcement and simplicity are prerequisites, not add-ons. Alex, then put real resources into enforcement, simplify rules, and educate small firms early. On balance, the upside is compelling. Higher earnings for millions, reduced turnover, and a nudge toward higher productivity business models. Ben, and my balance is caution. Modest hikes, regional tailoring, youth safeguards, and rigorous monitoring. When studies find slower job growth or reduced hours, listen to them, especially in places with low prices and thin margins. Alex, so the synthesis looks like this. Use predictable, incremental increases indexed to inflation/productivity. Tailor regionally where price levels diverge. Pair with training, youth hiring supports, and scheduling reforms. Fund enforcement and small business compliance help. Evaluate continuously. If hours or youth employment sag, adjust. Ben, I can live with that, provided we commit to measurement with teeth. Publish employment, hours, vacancies, and small business openings by sector and region. Run mid-course corrections instead of insisting the policy is working by assumption. Alex, deal. The point isn't to win the argument, it's to raise living standards without unintended damage. The evidence base says we can, if we implement carefully. Ben, and if we stay honest about trade-offs. When the numbers change, the policy should change too. Alex, agreed? Let's build a wage floor that moves with the economy and a policy process that moves with the evidence.